Between your words and mine lies a silence that speaks louder than any royal decree. I carry your name like a candle hidden under velvet, always flickering, never seen. You are not a king, not a knight, not even sworn to me, yet you hold a power over my breath I never consented to give. Perhaps that is what love is. The surrender without a war. I walk through centuries of tradition wrapped around my ankles, and yet the softest brush of your gaze frees me more than any throne ever could. There is a kind of dignity in loving you quietly, without demands, without promises. My heart has learned the art of stillness, but not forgetfulness. I remember the timbre of your voice in corridors filled with diplomats, how it cut through like music meant only for me. I have replayed our briefest conversations like sacred scripture, whispering them into my pillow when sleep does not come. No one would guess a crown could feel so light and so heavy in the same breath. No one would imagine that a girl wrapped in honor would risk everything just to see you smile. Between your words and mine lies a devotion neither law nor lineage can touch. I do not write you letters, though my soul aches to. I compose them in my mind instead, carving them into silence, sealing them in chambers where no court can enter. Each letter begins the same. I saw you today, though perhaps I did not. Still, you appear everywhere, between the pages of treaties, reflected in rain-specked windows, in the soft sigh of my silk gloves, when I clench my fists to steady my longing. The world sees me as future, as symbol, but you, if only you could see how you became my present. I would give up every bowl, every diamond hairpin, every calculated step down a palace hallway, if it meant I could walk beside you with nothing but honesty in my hands. And yet I give you nothing. Not my words, not my touch. Only this, my eyes. Watch them carefully, and you'll know everything. They betray me when my tongue cannot. They follow you when no one should. They soften when your name dares to rise in conversation. And when you leave, they do not blink until you've disappeared completely, as though refusing to lose even the after-image of you. Between my silence and my gaze, there is love louder than history. Every moment near you becomes an heirloom. Do you know this? That I catalogue each one like a relic wrapped in reverence, polished with memory. You once touched my sleeve to hand me a book, no more than 2 seconds, but it split time. In that gesture lived every dream I dared not say aloud. I wore that sleeve again and again, even when it no longer matched the weather or the occasion. I am not naive. I know what is expected of me, of my name, of my role, but no tradition prepared me for the quiet revolution you started in my chest. No lesson in diplomacy explained how one man's laughter could undo years of discipline. They taught me how to rule, how to speak, how to serve, but they never warned me that love, real love, arrives softly and all at once, like a breath caught in the throat. I watch you move through rooms as if you belonged in every corner of my life. And perhaps that is the great tragedy. You don't. Not officially, not ceremonial, but in my heart you reign, without coronation, without anthem, without crown. Between your presence and your absence lives a kingdom I willingly inhabit. There are days I imagine your hand in mine, not in secret, not in shadow, but out in the open. I imagine what it would feel like to walk beside you with nothing to hide, no names to protect, no eyes to avoid. I have loved you in the margins, in the spaces where protocol loses its grip. But I wonder what it would mean to love you in the center of everything. Could the world bear it? There is a quiet kind of courage in restraint, but there is another in defiance. And sometimes I wonder which one I am destined for. I've watched you speak with others, and smiled as though I am made of steel, but inside I am glass. You speak of your plans, your projects, your travels, and I nod as though they don't crack me with every step they take. You away. I wish you knew that I write about you in poems I never share, that I have memorized the shape of your shadow on the wall when you leave the room, that your voice has become the thread that ties my thoughts together. Between my dreams and my duty, there is only you. Evening is the most dangerous time. That is when I am most myself. When the layers of presentation fall, and I am no longer a princess, but a girl who misses someone she cannot name. The quiet invites your memory in like a guest who needs no introduction. I light candles not for light, but to summon you, to recreate the glow of that one hallway, where your face was lit just right, and I thought, this is the face I want to wake to in a different light. My walls are lined with portraits of monarchs and ancestors. But I wish they could step aside for one picture of you, smiling in the way only I have seen. You are not carved into the history books, not written into my lineage, but you are written into me. I carry you like breath, unnoticed until missing. There is no title for what we are, no vocabulary in the language of nobility for this bond that thrives in shadow. But it is no less real. In fact, it is the most real thing I know. Between the dusk and the dawn, in the hours when the palace sleeps, I love you freely, if only in thought. I do not ask the stars for much anymore. Once I asked for strength, for wisdom, for the grace to wear this crown with purpose. Now I ask only for moments, small silent ones, where I can exist near you. I do not pray for a future. That would be unfair to both of us. But I do pray for nearness, that our paths may continue to cross, even if only in passing, like ships lit briefly by each other's lanterns, before disappearing into separate oceans. I would take even that, if it means still feeling the warmth of your soul brushing against me. You once told me that silence is its own kind of dialogue. I understand that now, because every time we stand in the same room and say nothing, everything is said. You may not know the shape of my love for you, but you have felt its outline, haven't you? In the way I never interrupt you, in how I laugh more easily in your company, in how I choose to listen when others only hear. Between your voice and my breath, there lives 1,000 unsent confessions, waiting only for time to grow braver. Some part of me believes you already know, that you have seen the truth in the spaces I thought I concealed, that perhaps you too walk away with your heart a little heavier after each encounter. Maybe you feel it when you reach for a pen, and remember how I once admired the way you held, or when you hear a certain melody, and feel something stir that you cannot name. Love like this is not tidy. It does not wait for permission. It arrives unannounced and builds a home in both of us, whether we speak of it or not. I've learned to love in code, in ritual, in restraint. But there are nights I want to forget my last name, and run to you with bare feet and no reason, except that I miss you. I would trade all my jewels for one unguarded afternoon, 1 hour where I could rest my head on your shoulder, and be still. But for now I carry this affection like a secret language only I speak. Between your knowing and your wandering, lies a space I dare not enter. And yet, I stand there every day, waiting for you to call it home. In rooms filled with noble names and centuries-old expectations. I sometimes feel like a child pretending to be a queen. But then I think of you, and suddenly everything feels real again. You ground me in ways my ancestry never could. When I speak of history, my voice is firm. When I speak of you, my breath falters. It's as if every part of me rearranges to make space for your name, even when it remains unspoken. I want you to know that I have not loved anyone else, not even in fear. My heart chose once, and that choice has lived quietly, like a candle burning behind cathedral glass, protected, unseen, unwavering. I fear the day they tell me I must choose someone, for the sake of alliance, someone who will never understand that my heart already resides elsewhere. That even if I wear another's ring, it will be your name pressed between the pages of my life, like a flower I could never throw away. Between what they see and what is true, there is a chasm only I can walk. But I do it every day, with your name as my echo and my anchor.